Greetings all, and welcome back to some World of Tanks again with Globbs. Right, by popular demand, somebody requested in my M103 how-to video in the comments section, could I do a how-to slash Globbs opinion on this thing, the Cromwell. The Cromwell is the British tier 6 medium tank, and for me, my favourite tank in the game. I'm going to get that out there straight away. I am completely biased towards this vehicle. I love it. It's an amazing tank. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a bit of a garage review on it, just tell you how I play it. I'll give you a brief idea of how I've set mine up, how I intend to play it, and then hopefully show you some games on how it should be used, or how I personally use it. Now, there's lots of different ways to do it, and there's no one out there that does anything right or wrong. You know, if you feel that how you play it is your way, this is just my way of doing it. So, to start with, stats then. It's got 750 hit points for tier 6 medium. That's not too shabby at all. Let's compare it with the Russian counterpart. What's the Russian tier 6 medium? Let's have a look. Have they actually got one? Yeah, the T-34-85. 670, probably with the top end turret it's probably got a little bit more. Yeah, so it's not too shabby at all. Let's have a look at the Sherman Easy 2. Yeah, 730. Yeah, it's just about average. It weighs, when it's fully loaded in the configuration, I put it in 28 tons, but it's got a 650 horsepower engine pushing it. That is really good. It's got 22.83 specific horsepower per ton. That is very good. Now what that basically means, that 22.8 horsepower per ton, how quick it is off the lights. Yeah, and how fast it can push things uphill. It's got a 64 kph top speed, and it will definitely reach that, even going up slight inclines. And if you go downhill, you'll reach 75. Yeah, I've recorded on Himmelsdorf speeds in excess of 75 in this thing when it's going down a really steep hill. So that's really good. To that end, it's not really a tank for those that aren't very quick on the old keys. I have seen some Cromwell drivers and fast tank drivers get into real difficulty. Speed is your ally, but it can also be your enemy. The hull traverse speed is 36 degrees per second. Now this does not on paper sound like much. It is good, don't get me wrong, but until you actually drive the thing, and with the engine power, you realise how fast it can turn, it's ridiculous. It's one of the best, most mobile mediums in the game, in my personal opinion. The hull armour is garbage. 64mm at the front, okay, and 32mm at the rear and sides. Now, World War II, historically, this was the British go-to tank. It was the British tank that they used. Not a main battle tank, but it was the tank that got used the most. When it was released, bear in mind back in the day, but start of World War, they used to have these things, Matildas, as their slow infantry tanks, and the Cruiser series, like your Covenanters, your Crusaders, and all that kind of stuff, as your cavalry tanks, your fast moving tanks. And then they brought this thing out, and it was actually said on record, one of the tank crews actually said the person that released this vehicle, allowed this vehicle to be used by the British tank crew, should have been lined up against a wall and shot. The British idea of what tanks and how tanks should be made and used was documented throughout the war as absolutely atrocious. You'll notice from the design of it, there's lots of flat panels. Yeah, lots of flat panels. For example, you look at a German tank, there's for example the E75, it's all angled, but this thing, it's all flat. So at the front of the hull, this plate just here is 64mm thick. This bit here isn't. Yeah, your upper glacis and your lower glacis. Now they are really well angled, but the problem is they actually hit that and ricochet off into the machine gun port and the driver's port. These things were notorious for killing their drivers and the machine gunner crew and the radio op. Ridiculously fragile vehicles in real life. In this game, obviously, they're not that bad because, well, it's not realistic. Well, it is realistic, but it's not as it should be in real life. Alright, it's not historically based, should I say. It's not factually based, it is realistic, but it's not based on real facts. The turret armor is 76mm. The frontal part of the turret is 76mm thick, but again, it's flat. A shot hits this, it'll just fucking go straight through. Yep. There is a hidden gun mantlet in here with some spaced armor. Alright, so that is not kind of a, I don't know, I just don't rely on your armor. This thing, I could go through the weak points, but to be honest, people don't aim for your weak points in this thing. If a tier 4 is shooting at you, they might have to, but Hetzers will just wreck you. Matildas will absolutely wreck you. So it's best not to get hit. You need to use that mobility. Now, I'm going to come back to the gun in a minute. Turret traverse, 48 degrees a second, which is awesome. Combine that with a 36 degrees, yeah, that is one hell of a turning speed for the gun. The view range is 360, not too shabby at all. It can be used as a passive scout should you get into a tier 8 game, or even an active scout. The problem is the radio range. It only gets a tier 8 radio, and that's the best radio it can get. Alright, so you're going to have issues calling in long range artillery on places like El Khalouf, with the really large maps, but the smaller maps you won't have any dramas at all. So the gun, on a tier 6, this gun is absolutely fantastic. It is by far one of the better guns at tier 6 for medium tanks. 75mm Vickers high velocity cannon. Yeah, it fires 15.38 rounds a minute. Now that is a lot better with Brothers in Arms, etc, 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 and vents and all that kind of good stuff. 145mm penetration with your standard ammo. That is more than adequate. Alright, more than adequate for what you're going to be shooting at. Yeah, things like VK3601s, KV1Ss, you'll just go through them. T29s, if you shoot them in the right places, you know, shoot them in the hulls, it'll go through that. Get to tier 8, you might have to be loading some premium shells, which it fires APCR, alright, for 202mm penetration. And I always carry a couple of HE, yeah, just for stopping caps and stuff, you know, when you really just have to do a minimal amount of damage just to stop a cap. And it's also good for shooting at scumbags as well. 135 average damage, so what you're going to be doing, this is a DPM gun. And you spoke about my argument, DPM always wins over alpha. So every one round, every 3.5 seconds, alright, for 135 damage. Think about it, KV1S has only got 800 health. You know, he fires once, he's got a 15-second reload, 13, 14, 15-second reload. Yeah, you can pump 3 shots into him for just the same amount of damage as what he's banging at you. Alright, obviously you have to hit 3 times. The accuracy is pretty good, 0.36 in the aiming time, not too shabby at all. The aiming time could be better. Alright, it's also the top gun on the Churchill 1 at tier 5. Okay, not too shabby at all for the cannon. Cannon's absolutely friggin' awesome. Anyway, standard issue consumables. Yeah, I may start making this my pimp tank and putting premium consumables in it. We'll wait and see. Enhanced gun lane drive, simple reason is 2.3 seconds for me is okay, but it's not the best with regards to a medium tank. The shorter aiming time the better. The shorter time you're sticking your nose out from around a corner, and the smaller the aiming circle is the better. Bear in mind you're going to have to be shooting at weak points. Okay, vents is a given, and a gun rammer to make it fire faster. Yeah, there's not really a lot of other options you can do. You could probably go for binos if you want to make it a passive scout, but you never know which map you're going to get into and what kind of role you're going to be playing. So, you know, coated optics, it's only going to give you an extra 36 meters of range. It's not really worth it personally. 360 meters is plenty. Alright, crew skills. For my commander, I went for 6th Sense first. I did recon before that and then went into 6th Sense. Then we're doing recon for my view range. Because to be honest with you, there's not really a lot else I could use with the commander. The ones that are perks, you know, things like you could probably go Eagle Eye or no, probably Jack of all trades, whatever, I don't know, depends, probably repairs or, I don't know, depends on how I feel when I've got through that one. For the gunner I went for Deadeye and then Snapshot. I went for Snapshot first and then retrained into Deadeye. Okay, so what you guys will need to remember is that Deadeye is actually a perk. Now, the difference between a perk and a skill, alright, is a perk needs to be 100%. Now, Deadeye increases the chance to cause damage to enemy modules and crew. It's only effective with AP, APCR and heat shells. Okay, now what that basically means is if you shoot somebody and you penetrate them, you've got more chance of doing damage to modules and crews, which is awesome, because if ever you've been on the receiving end of a shot that wrecks your crew, it pisses you off and makes you stop and use your consumables, and generally ruins your tank. It has to be 100%. A lot of people will go through their gunner's first skill with Deadeye selected already. That's a mistake, because you can use Snapshot while you're building up your gunner to his first skill, and get the benefit of Snapshot, and then when Snapshot gets to 100% you can retrain by clicking the drop button. You can retrain your crew member using either, you know, free 20,000 gold, or you can use actual gold. Now it's 20,000 silver. If you do free, what will happen is you will keep the first skill at 100% like it says down there, and you will lose the second skill down to 52. If you go 2,000, 20,000, you'll get 63%. If you do gold, it's a straight swap. Alright, that's how I do it. I went Snapshot until it got to 100% and then changed for Deadeye and carried on with Snapshot. Alright. The driver, I went for clutch braking. Alright. Increases vehicle rotation speed. Bear in mind it's already turned into 36 degrees per second. Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, that really is awesome. And then I went for repairs. Now, what I might do with this guy is go for things like smooth ride, which I might actually change, to be perfectly honest with you, down that to smooth ride. That'd be better, I think. And then probably off-road driving. Now all these are skills. Yeah, I don't know why I went with repairs. I think this guy was from a different crew when I had him. I think he was a driver for something else. I think he was a driver for a tank destroyer. Yeah, in fact he was a AT2 driver. Okay, so that's why he's got repairs. I haven't spotted that. I'd probably go for one of these two, probably smooth ride, accuracy on the move. You'll realise why when we come onto the battles. Radio op, I've gone for camo and repairs, yeah, whatever. However, I've given one of my loaders, my loader, safe stowage. That is a must-have perk. Alright. What it basically means is your tank doesn't go fucking boom if you get hit in the ammo rack. They're more likely just to knock it out than they are to make it go boom. Alright. It's a really awesome perk. Combine it with wet ammo rack, you're never going to get ammo racked. Alright, but I always have. If I've got a loader with 100% skill, it gets retrained into safe stowage. Right then, all in all, how I actually play this vehicle, how I like to play it, is a fast moving wolf packing medium. And I'll introduce you to the term wolf packing in a bit. What it basically does is you don't take things on head on in this thing. Now, in the game where there's three of us, I make a mistake. This tank is not a corner fighting tank. You peekaboo. You peek out, shoot, peek back. Peek out, shoot, peek back. Your mobility is your lifeline. As soon as you stop and give them a chance to aim at you, if they hit you, it's going to penetrate. Alright, so you just don't stop moving. Don't stop moving. There's a song about that somewhere. The gun is a fast firing, you know, just keep shooting at them. You've got 60 odd rounds, you know, just keep shooting. You know, you're not going to get an accuracy, you know, medal for this. Just keep shooting at them, keep whittling them down, get around the sides, get around the rear, just generally make you an absolute nuisance of yourself. The trouble with this vehicle is you need your heavies to do their job and take on the other heavies. But you can wreak absolute havoc on lone heavy tanks. Looking at your turret traverse and your hull traverse, you can just circle them to death, which Bossman does in one of the games. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to jump into the games, and I'm going to try and demonstrate what you should do. Now, I've had massive issues trying to get a decent game. I have had some absolutely legendary games in this thing. Go back and look at some of my other videos on the Cromwell, and that'll show you what you can actually do with this thing. One in specialty was me, Bossman and Melanthius, and I got 8 kills, and as the team we killed 2/3 of the enemy team. But I've got one game that's on steps, which is a nice wide open map, and there's a city map as well. So on to the games then. Alright, encounter battle, 3% global chance to win. Okay, looking at the team makeup. Now this is an important thing, you need to look at the team makeup. We've got a lot of medium tanks and they haven't. Alright, we've got 7 medium tanks, they've got 4. Looking across the board, I'm going to head straight for the cap. That was my decision in this game. They've got a Hellcat, an A43. What else have they got? They've got nothing really quick on a T49. Chances are, I'm going to get there first. We've got a real Panther, or a 3002M, a 3001P, T49, an M4. Yeah, chances are I'm going to get there first. So let's just check out the speed of this thing. Now, straight out the block, I'm doing 45 kph over rough terrain. That ain't too shabby. I'm getting up to 55. Yeah, I'm just having a bit of a look, see where the team's going, using my zoom out mod. Keeping looking at the thing now. I'm miles ahead of the friendly team. Look at it. I'm just literally straight out the blocks like a racing snake. I'm doing maximum speed near enough over rough terrain. That's your engine power. That is your specific power to weight ratio. Now, this little spot I'm going to now, I'm revealing my secrets now, is an awesome spot for scouts, fast tank destroyers like T49, a Stug if you can get there. Alright, as long as you don't get spotted. So, get yourself in this rock, wait for yourself to drop off the radar, and you'll see all the enemy tanks moving across like this. Watch this. And you just put shots onto them. Yeah, as soon as you get spotted, I'll set that T43 and 34 on fire. Unlucky son. As soon as you get spotted, duck back. Yeah, I'm getting shot at. The rocks are taking hits. Yeah, so I'll pop out again, shoot who's shooting at me, which is the T43. Now, I bounced a shot there, but that was from extreme range. Yeah, okay, so they're dead. That's happy days. Back to my original spotting position. Just peeking out, having a look. Now there's a team of heavy coming for me. Just take a shot, straight back again, make him miss. I'm probably going to take some hits here, request fire against him. Yeah, as soon as I get hit, I take some points of damage. I bounce that one, and he gets taken out because all my friends are behind me. Thankfully that 3002M, who's a pretty good player, has realised what I'm doing. Yeah, if we look at him, he's a pretty good player. Yeah, he's the same sort of stats as me, so he knows what I'm doing. And he's actually looking at me, he's keeping an eye on me, making sure I'm safe. Now I take a hit there, which basically means I wasn't recloaked, I wasn't re-camoed, I hadn't dropped off their radar, so I took a hit from the Hellcat. So I'm just going to sit here. You know, I'm in no rush, I'm in hard cover, there's no artillery. Let's just stay here. Wait till I drop off the radar, pop out again. All this comes with experience though. I mean, experienced Cromwell drivers just know. Critical hit on that guy, probably hit his tracks, but no big deal. But I haven't been respotted. Sixth Sense hasn't gone off. We've got some guys in the cap circle. A43, haven't seen one of these before. Put some shots at him. Leading nicely. Yeah, firing on the move while reversing. Get yourself back into cover because again, your armour's shite. 1200 damage. But basically, what I'm doing as well as shooting these guys, I'm letting the friendlies know what's coming. So the 3001P and the KU1 can actually make a decision. You know, what do I have to do? Now, it's at this point when I decide we're comfortably winning the game. It's time to actually go do some active medium work and actually start harassing the enemy. I'm happy that the southern side of the map is clear. And all I've got is these guys from me. Now I've been spotted, but again, I'm manoeuvrability, I'm keeping on the move. Now what I do here is I provide distraction. I make this SU-100, who's aiming down the ring at the cap circle, turn round to chase me. Okay, now stop, reverse, look at the mobility. Reverse, missing, but hey ho, go forwards. He's struggling to aim. He can't aim at me. And he's missed. And I can afford to sit still and shoot him a couple of times. And he dies. And it makes the other guys turn to face. The Hellcats turn round. The SU-85s turn round. Forgetting that they've also got, and look at the, here he is, 3002M. Yeah, awesome player. Teamwork. Yeah, causing a distraction. It's not about killing the enemy every single time. Use your mobility, bob and weave. Yeah. Didn't get many kills. In fact, didn't get any kills. But it's the effect I had on the game. And without me there, not saying that I did something fantastic, but without me there, those guys would have really struggled. If those tank destroyers had got hunkered down in the positions they were in, they'd have never taken the cap. Alright, so that's one thing you can do in a Cromwell. Be a pain in the arse, basically. Alright, let's get some post-game stats for you on that one. Alright, the post-game stats then. Nothing spectacular. Got a Confederate medal. You'll get a lot of those with Cromwell. shooting at tanks. Basically what Confederate medal means is you shoot it and someone else kills it. You do damage to it, somebody else kills it for you. I did that 6 times. You need 6 to get a Confederate medal. Not a fantastic game. Got 36,000 credits. You will earn money in this thing. It's a steady money earner, and 1,300 experience with a premium account, and non-doubled with a premium. So that's not too bad at all. All right. Spotted and saw 6 tanks, of which 2 had damage done to them due to my thing, so that's probably some extra spotting damage for me. And I hit that T-49 once. Okay, so I didn't finish top of the table. Dr. Wynn in his real Panther, not that piece of shit at tier 7. This is the actual real Panther, which I will be grinding towards. That thing plays exactly like a Panther should. He did slightly less damage than me, but he got 5 kills. And he got 6 more experience than I did. So us two worked really well together. If you play this tank really well, I have finished this area of the table, the top 3 of the table, in a tier 8 game. It is easily doable, because if you shoot higher tier tanks than you, you get extra experience for them, etc, etc. The enemy team just had an absolute nightmare game. Look, 7 of their team didn't do any damage whatsoever. But hey ho, you know, everyone has garbage games. 20 shots fired, 15 hit, 13 penned. Yep, a couple of those shots were firing on the move, so hey ho. For a total of 1,700 damage. That's about your average damage, what you should be doing per game if you get a good game. Yeah, I mean, I've had it up to like 3,500 damage before. I have got my mastery badge on this thing. I got it quite early, as soon as I realised how to play it. Spotting, 100 spotting damage. Yeah, again, I didn't probably spot most of those tanks, but running interference is the aim of the game. Alright, just let the friendlies know what's coming. The ammo is really cheap on this thing as well. I do carry premium ammo. The ammunition is quite cheap as well, so you're not going to be losing too much money from repairing. I mean, I was nearly dead. I had like 30 health left, and it's only going to cost 5k to repair. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Right, on to the next game then. Right then, this time it's a city fight. Again, a 76% chance. Alright, not going to make no bones about it. You know, you don't necessarily have to have a fail team on the enemy team just to do well. I mean, I have done well before, but these are the only decent games I've had in it. I'm teamed up this time with myself, Merle, and Bossman, and we're in a Cromwell platoon. Now, if I ever see a Cromwell platoon, and I'm in a heavy tank, I am really worried where they're going to be, if they're any good. You know, this is one of the reasons I run XVM. It's alright in saying, oh yeah, there's 3 Cromwells, but if they're piloted by 3 dribbling Mongols, then it's not really that much of a problem. But if they're driven by 3 players that are reasonably good, you're going to have problems. And in this game, we do cause the enemy some problems. Now, I'm going to show you this from 2 perspectives. I'm going to show you from my perspective, and then when I die, I'm going to then switch over to Bossman's perspective to see what he did, because I'd made a mistake in this game, and it was an absolute hellish mistake. It was Cromwell 101, do not do. Okay, so I've decided, or we decided, we're going to do the 2-3 line and harass this way, because I thought some of the enemy would go to the hill, but obviously they didn't listen to the Globbs how to play World of Tanks. They decided to come this way. Shot of the move on the scout, sets him on fire, put another one into him. Merle nearly blocks my shot, but I managed to finish him off. So that's the scout gone. Now, this is what you don't do. You don't stick yourself out on a freaking corner and then keep appearing from the same direction. Yeah, watch this. Bang! Straight into me. Straight through my upper plate. Yeah, I've got 2 tank destroyers facing me. I'm tunnel visioned like an absolute scrub, and I keep popping out from the same place. Now, I'm just letting them shoot me. They know where I am. Gives them a chance to get themselves sorted out. Take another hit. I'm still spotted. We take out the Stewart in quick succession. He's basically screwed. Take out that tank, but then again I pop out from the same friggin' place again. Down to 11 health, I'm basically useless, and artillery takes me out. So, that's a don't do in a Cromwell. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to see the battle with Bossman's place. Now Bossman, this is where I should have gone, or we should have gone as a whole, instead of going onto that thing corner fighting. Okay, flanking positions. Yeah, flanking. This is the name of the game with this thing. We've got their attention. Bossman's just putting them to work. Putting his rapid fire to work. Taking nearly half the health off that panzer already. Going to work on the VK, which has now been reclassified to the heavy. See, look at the accuracy straight through the driver's port there. That is not the best place to shoot the front of that VK. It's better to shoot the machine gun port, because that actual driver's port is actually quite well armed. But if it works, it works. Yeah, easily going through the frontal plate of the VK 50% of the time. Dinged on the angle bit there, but never mind. Alright, so I'm about to die. There you go, I'm dead. Now, this is what Cromwells are good for. There's a lone KV-1 here on really low health. This guy is screwed. Straight round the side, don't stop, fire on the move, see you later fella. Now 35 CA's turned around to look at the boss. That guy was a really good player. He was situationally aware there. Unfortunately the DPM wins out. VK shoots Bossman. He's paying attention to Bossman. Bossman puts a shot in him and then Merle finishes him off. We saw that bit, or we're going to see that bit, that from Merle's perspective. Yeah, the guy's looking at Boss. Yeah, so Merle just finishes him off. Now, as soon as he's dead, we're talking on TeamSpeak. Merle's like, yep, Boss is dead. Okay, so Boss is right, I'm going to go kill this KV-1S. Again, using your speed and mobility, look how quickly it gets up to speed. Okay, it's doing 50 mile an hour already. Nearly 60 kph already. It's going full speed. You know, and this is the thing about the Cromwell. It's so fast, it's unbelievable. It hasn't got the highest top speed in the game, but it gets there so quick. 650 horsepower engine pushing 30 tons of absolute balls. Alright, screams around the corner, sees a K1S. See you later, pal. Not going to stick around, take a shot from that T1. So, fire on the move, just keep driving. T1's distracted, tries to chase him. Alright, and then the enemy, the friendly's just absolutely rinsed the T1 heavy. Now, this is a mistake that, I don't know. KV-1S just bloody stops in front of him. Now, at this point, Bossman was, the language coming out of Bossman was absolutely brilliant. So what we're going to do is now, they don't really see much else from Bossman's perspective. What we're doing now is we'll kick back and we're going to look at it from Merle's perspective. Unlucky Bossman. Unlucky. So what we're going to do now is watch the battle, the rest of the game after Bossman's untimely end from Merle's perspective. So we're going to skip back to when I died and watch the game from Merle's perspective. Okay, so at this point I'm helping Merle out. That VK, Bossman's distracted that VK like we saw in his version of the replay. The VK doesn't know where to point his gun. Yeah, and Merle just whittles him down using the rate of fire. Alright, so I was telling him on TeamSpeak, because we are on TeamSpeak, there's a T-34 there, might be an idea, just be careful, but he shoots somebody else, so we'll just help with the damage. Yeah, and let our type T-34 take the kill. Now Bossman's screaming across the enemy cap circle, kisses the cap like he should in his replay. Now we're coming from behind to take out this KV-1S and the T1 heavy that's there. Yeah, look at the speed of this thing, 64 kph, bit of air time. Yeah. Bossman's finished off the KV-1S, screeching around the corner, just putting shot after shot into the arse of this T1 heavy. This guy doesn't know where to point his gun. Now Merle made a bit of a mistake there. I would use the KV-1S as cover there because he actually got hit by his own team. Again, you can't fix stupid. Yeah, Bossman met his untimely end, and now we've got getting shot at from the Panzer IVS, but this guy's absolutely screwed. Brave little T-50 goes mooching over there with his little gun. Go on, get him, T-50. All right. And T-50 gets one-shotted by the artillery, I believe. Yeah. Bang! Shotgun by the M37. It's the same guy that killed me. Again, Merle needs to repair his gunner. Forgets. And it's just a case of mopping the rest of them up. There's people in the cap circle. Guys, again, don't fucking do this. This pisses me off. But then again, we have got somebody in our cap circle. Takes a risk. He could have been one-shotted by that artillery there. Alright. And that's pretty much it. GG, win by cap. Cool. Not a bad showing, all told. Now, I haven't actually got the post-game stats for this game. So unfortunately I haven't got them. I forgot to, because Bossman, when we come to, if you remember back to his section where he dies, the language coming out of him was colourful, to say the least. Anyway, back to the conclusion. So, to conclude then, awesome tank, in my personal opinion. Very, very, very versatile. Okay, can be used in a variety of situations. Has got its weaknesses, and new players, if you've just come in through the through the ranks of the British tanks, you might have issues playing this thing until you get a little bit better at the game. But for an experienced to a really good player, this tank is an absolute gem. Absolute gem. It really is. The new guys who like your alpha damage, sitting on corners, blasting people for 400 alpha, this is not the tank for you. If you like to race around and just be a general nuisance and make people look like idiots quite easily in this vehicle, this is the tank for you, basically. I love it. I will never ever ever hear anything bad said about the Cromwell. It's a brilliant tank. End of. Should they ever nerf it, I will tell you now, if they reduce any of the characteristics or abilities of this vehicle and reduce it from what it actually was, I will quit this game. I will quit it there and then, because this thing is one of the most balanced vehicles in the game, in my opinion. It's not overpowered in any way. Yeah, a good driver will make this thing look awesome. A bad driver will just get killed every single time. You know, that's to me what the idea of a balanced tank. You know, if you use it well, it's awesome. You know, if you don't, you're going to die. So, in conclusion then, brilliant tank. If you're coming through the light lines, it will be an absolute godsend from the pieces of junk like your Covenanter and your Crusader and the Cruiser series. It plays completely differently. Alright, it's just a really, really fun tank to play. I advise anybody to just go up to the British light and medium lines, get yourself to the Cromwell, and then make your opinion on the British tanks. Alright. Hope you've enjoyed that, guys. If you have, as usual, please subscribe. I'm up to 110 subscribers now, which is absolutely amazing. Tell your friends. The more people we get in the channel, the better. The more heated debates and discussions we're going to have in the comment section, which is awesome, and I get to reply to some more comments. Comic video to come upcoming. I'm going to review this thing next, which, if you look at it, basically looks like a carbon copy of the Cromwell. It isn't. It plays completely differently. Alright, but we'll discuss that a bit nearer the time. Alright, so, in conclusion then, Cromwell, go get one. That's Globbs signing off. Take care now. Bye bye, guys.